We're going to take a look at Solano College Library's online catalog. There are a couple of ways to get to the catalog. You can start over here underneath Find Books, or you can jump straight to the library catalog itself using this link over here on the right hand side. I'm going to do that right now as we wait for the catalog to load. You'll see up here on the top left hand side it says SNAPweb. So what we're really doing is searching the Solano, Napa, and Partners web catalog. Basically, as a Solano College student or as a citizen of Solano or Napa counties, you have free access to anything that you can find in the Solano or Napa County libraries, whether the public libraries, the academic libraries, or other libraries that are associated with what we call this SNAP consortium. So we have books, there are magazines, there are movies, there are music CDs, computer games, pretty much anything you can think of you can get through the library, and it's free unless, of course, you don't bring the items back or you keep them longer than you've been permitted to keep them. For now, I'm going to start out with a basic search. There is an advanced search screen option, and we talked a little bit about the difference between basic searching and advanced searching in last week's lecture. So for now I'm going to start out with just a basic search, doing a general keyword search here, and then we'll skip to advanced searching in the next video. We'll get into the differences between keyword searching and some of these other ways you can search, particularly subject browsing or subject searching, a little bit later on when we cover library databases. But there's an important thing to keep in mind, the difference between keyword searching and subject searching now while we're using the library catalog. And that is that keyword searching really is a way for the catalog to just look for the occurrence of whatever keyword you tell it to find. So it doesn't really read the catalog, it doesn't really look at the context of the keywords that you type in. Basically, it just fetches any occurrence of the word that you tell it to go find. Now, if we're doing a subject search or subject browsing, that is where the database that runs the catalog, that's how it understands that it needs to go and find you items related to the actual subject of whatever word you typed in. So if you typed in bones and we're looking in a subject search, you might potentially find everything related to skeletons rather than children's books on Fido burying bones in the backyard or something equally ridiculous. Subject searching will search the Library of Congress subject headings, which we've discussed in this week's lecture. So, long story short, keyword searching is a little less precise, but it will get you some interesting search results, and it can be very useful in certain situations, which we'll talk about in a second. Subject browsing is going to get you very precise results, but fewer search results in that process. So let's start out with a basic keyword search. And one thing that keyword searching is really good for is finding a very precise name or a precise term or something that the database isn't going to mess up. It's not going to misunderstand what you tell it. So for example, if you were trying to investigate maybe genocide or issues in Darfur, gotta make sure I type it right, and if I just type in that keyword Darfur and hit search, the database will seek everywhere that it can and find that keyword Darfur. So if potentially there were an author whose name was, for example, Aaron Darfur, then my books would come up. If I were that author, my books would come up. But here we've got some pretty relevant search results. The translator, a tribeman's memoir of Darfur, Darfur African genocide, another memoir down here. So we've got some pretty relevant results going on. And if we look over here on the right hand side of the search screen, or the search results page, we can see what kinds of things we're pulling up. So under this tribesman memoir of Darfur, we've got a large print book here, and we can see here that we've got a Dewey Decimal System call number. Over here we've just got a publication year, so there's something else going on there. Here we've got YA and the Dewey Decimal number here, and that means young adult, and this book is in one of the public libraries. More public library stuff. We've got a DVD here that's coming up, a book on CD, another DVD. So let's look at this one here. I want to see what this one's like. Okay. So we'll scroll down. We've got the title of the book and the author, all this information you would need to write a good citation, which we've already covered. We've got the contents of the book all listed here. This is a little anthology of writings by various authors on the topic of Africa and looking at it from both sides of the argumentative table, I guess. And then we've got the Library of Congress subject headings down here. And you'll notice that the keyword Darfur doesn't show up anywhere down here. And that's because Library of Congress subject headings are incorporating our keyword Darfur into larger, broader subjects that encompass everything about Darfur. So we've got Africa, social conditions of the 21st century, economic conditions, politics and government. And so Darfur, the keyword, is actually encompassed within these subject headings. Over here in the content section, you can see our keyword Darfur pops up here, and it pops up over here. So you can see that although this book does contain two writings specifically mentioning the word or the place Darfur, the book itself overall is about Africa, looking at it from opposing viewpoints, and it's dealing with these three very broad Library of Congress subject headings. So we can scroll down and see that this book exists at the Benicia Public Library. There's one copy in the reference section, and then another copy that looks like is able to be checked out. And over here it says that that copy is not checked out, so we could go ahead and place a hold on that book and have it sent to any library we wanted for pickup. And I'll show you how to place a hold in the next video. But for now, I want to jump back to my search results, and we're going to try taking this keyword search on Darfur into a subject heading search that's a little more relevant to the topic that we started with, which was looking at genocide. So here, for example, even though this is a young adult book, and it's not actually, I would argue that it might not be appropriate for college-level research, we can still say that we might want to find more books similar to this book. So we click on the book that looks like a good fit, Darfur, African Genocide, and then we scroll down to these subject headings, and now we can see some more precise subject headings related to our search results. So ethnic conflict in Sudan, genocide, crimes against humanity, Sudan history, Darfur conflict. Let's click on that one and see. Okay, so when we click on the subject heading, the database, the Library Catalogs database, tells us there are 9 items related to that broad Library of Congress subject heading dealing with Sudan history, Darfur conflict, 2003 till today, presumably. Over here on the right-hand side, we can read about the subject if we like, or if we know that that's exactly what we want, we can click on it. And now we've got all 9 search results available in all Solano or Napa County libraries dealing with that topic. We can scroll down here. And this one here, this is a good example. Over here on the right-hand side, this is what we now know as a Library of Congress subject heading, or Library of Congress call number if you've already done this week's lecture. Dewey Decimal starts with numbers. Library of Congress starts with letters. So that's one big difference you'll see between the Solano College Library and some of the local public libraries. Even though we all share the same materials, our library is set up according to the Library of Congress subject headings and classification system. There are lots of different ways to search in this database. If I'm going to go back to New Search, just to give you quick examples, we did a keyword search for Darfur, and then we took it into subject headings based on the keyword search results. You could also automatically search subject headings by using either the subject box here in the drop-down or subject browsing. Both of them act a little bit differently, and you'll see that the second you try and do anything with that. You can also search for an author or a name, or you can even browse in titles of something if you know the title. But this drop-down box will give you lots of different ways to use your keywords in much more effective and organized methods. In the next video, we'll cover a little bit of advanced searching and how to place a hold on an item that is not already at the Solano College Library.